the Halo Infinite campaign has been revealed to us, guys. And although I was a little bit underwhelmed, for the most part from this reveal, at the same time, there were certainly some great things that were put in here. One of those being an open world setting, the first of its kind in Halo. And I gotta say, I'm incredibly excited about this in particular. So in this segment of the show, guys, I want to talk about, Halo Infinite and 343 Industries, taking on the open world setting. So let's talk about it. So, with 343, guys, obviously coming off the heels, or really, after a number of years now, off of Halo 5, they realized some of the things that they did wrong, some of the things that they did right, and some of the things they need to do better moving forward. People, that being, people within the community of Halo, after, really I could probably say after Halo 3, pretty much all the games after that, people overall it was very mixed bag. Halo 4 was mixed, even though I enjoyed it overall. Halo 5 and, the Master Chief Collection and all these different editions that have come out, I thought that we're okay. I thought that Halo 5 was treated a little bit unfairly at times. I understand the overall, the overall gist of why people were really upset about, Halo 5 and, just the idea that Master Chief wasn't the focal point of the franchise and such. And I totally get that. I'm going to give you guys a comparison though. And Gears of War is another franchise, probably the second juggernaut to Halo. I mean, it's pretty much up there. The two biggest exclusives for Xbox at this point in time. And Gears of War did something similar to what, Halo did with Halo 5. They kind of moved away from their main character and moved on to a secondary character, that being, from Marcus Phoenix to JD Phoenix, and then from JD to Kate Diaz. And so what I'm getting at, guys, is I think 343 Industries, their take on this was, let's, kind of just see, maybe we kind of move on slightly from Master Chief. And I think people weren't ready for that. People weren't ready for Master Chief to be no longer the focal point. Now, is it going to end here with Infinite? That's another conversation for another day. But we see another take here from 343 Industries as to what, Gears of War did. And Gears of War did a semi-open world setting in Gears 5, which I thought was great, fantastic. I was very skeptical of it at first, but then when we got our hands on experience with it, I loved it. And now I want to explore that world even more. I hope we get like a full open world setting. Now you have Halo doing something similar. And I love it. I love that they're doing this. I think it's great, guys, that we're going back to Master Chief. I love Master Chief as well. The characters, in Halo 5 weren't as memorable, of course, as Master Chief. Gears of War has done a little bit, I think, of a better job of kind of, the characters within it, outside of like Marcus Phoenix. I think they did a really good job of like kind of giving these people a voice and somewhat, people that we can kind of connect with in a major way. I think a lot of it, with Halo, just, there's been a lot of buildup in Gears of War. Halo's had that buildup, but it's always been Master Chief, so it's been so hard for people to kind of even think about moving on from Master Chief. So with that, though, I think that the open world setting is absolutely it's going to be a game changer for Halo in my personal opinion. From a campaign perspective, I think that's great. Now, does that mean that this game is going to be way better than the other Halo games? That does not determine the story, guys. The story is a whole nother thing. What I'll say, though, about, from what we saw as far as the gameplay is concerned from, of Halo Infinite at the Xbox Game Showcase, from a graphic standpoint, it looks beautiful. The game looks great. I mean, it just looks so rich. It looks immersive. You got a lot of different weapons now that, in that gameplay trailer, just tons of different weapons that you're kind of switching between. The grapple system, I don't know what I think of that yet. I mean, it's almost like, why not? I love that Sprint is back. I'm a big, I really believe that Sprint, guys, does actually help the experience. I know a lot of people disagree with that. They think that we need to go back to like Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, where there was no, running essentially or sprinting, and I understand why people kind of holding on to that to the past somewhat, but sprint, guys, gives you that grounded reality that this is, it makes it a little bit more fast paced, and I really appreciate the sprint within Halo as a whole. Now, are they going to have, no sprint modes in the multiplayer? I'm sure they will, and I hope they do that for those of you who like the classic Slayer, classic, modes and such. I'm sure they're going to do that. The next thing, though, for me is, guys, is, from, the enemies and such. The enemies, I would have liked to see a little bit more variety of some of the enemies, personally. It looks like you got jackals, you got grunts, you got brutes. So, I mean, it looks like there's pretty much the same types of enemies. And I wish we would have gotten kind of, not necessarily an evolution of those, but I wish we would have we kind of were introduced to some new types of some of these enemies as well. But overall, guys, the open world setting at the end of the day is going to be huge for Halo. The exploration, getting to learn more about the story, the lore. Hopefully you get to find more skulls and collectibles and all of those things, guys, to help really build the lore and the story here. Infinite, I believe, is going to be the best looking game for sure in the Halo franchise. Is it going to be the best? It's hard to say, guys. Is it going to be better than Halo 3? I mean, that's a big task. I mean, we look at, even like in the Gears of War franchise, I love Gears 5. But I still can't put it above Gears of War 3 in my book. Gears of War 3 overall as a package deal, guys, was incredible. I just don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Right here, right now, guys, from what I'm seeing so far, I'm definitely excited, but I was a little bit underwhelmed. I wish we would have seen more. Are we going to see BR modes? Or a BR mode? Are we going to, like with Forge, or all the different multiplayer modes? And I know they stated that they're going to show us this at a later time. I just wish that they would have kind of given us a little bit more of like the multiplayer, the Forge mode. Are they going to be doing a Battle Royale mode? I think Halo with BR would be great. Just because it's more ways you can connect with the franchise. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but don't you want to see Halo continue growing as a franchise, as a fan base and such? But that being said, guys, overall, the open world setting in Halo is going to be, it could be game changing. Moving forward with Halo. It'll be interesting to see where they go with this story. Are they moving on from Master Chief after Infinite? Are they going to stop after Halo Infinite? I don't think they will. I believe that Halo is going to continue onwards for a long time. But I'm hoping that Infinite, it does well enough from a marketing perspective, from a sales perspective, as well as a rating perspective, that it justifies more games and we get those full open world settings and they become more and more expansive as we go. It'll be interesting, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think about the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal, of course, at Xbox Game Showcase? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Halo Infinite content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.